There's arguably no other car manufacturer so beholden to its motorsport connections than Ferrari. And even a supercar maker these days isn't immune to the need to respond to increasingly strict emissions regulations. The result is this, the Ferrari California T. It's the first major makeover for the prancing horse's most affordable car. And it's that capital letter T that heralds the most significant change. It stands for the first turbocharged Ferrari since the F40 more than 20 years ago. The F40 used turbos purely for performance purposes. The California T, however, is designed to ensure the brand can sell cars in key markets where buyers of inefficient cars are financially penalised. It also tightens Ferrari's technological ties with Formula 1 and its move to forced induction engines. So the previous 4.3-litre V8 is swapped out for a 3.9-litre V8 featuring double twin-scroll turbochargers. Power and torque are both up significantly, but fuel consumption improves by 15% and CO2 emissions have been reduced by 20%. We're pretty sure you don't want us to bring you a test about how little fuel a V8-powered supercar can use. Instead, the big question is whether turbocharging spoils the purity of the Ferrari driving experience. Now, Ferrari claims zero lag from this twin-turbo engine. I wouldn't say that it's completely non-existent, but it is remarkably responsive. Really eager engine. Now, something very interesting, Ferrari has kept the torque in all gears except top, which is 7th. That is there to try and recreate the sensation of driving a naturally aspirated engine. And I've got to say, they've done an impressive job on that. This is not one of those lazy V8s that discourages you from using lower gears. We're in 3rd gear now, and there's no sense that you've got to change up into a higher gear, almost top gear, and just ride the surf of torque. Best sounding turbo engine, as Ferrari claims. Well, that well may be, but Ferrari engines are supposed to scream at the limit. And even though this engine revs to 7,500, which is impressive for a turbo engine, those turbos do muffle the sound. There just isn't that same spine-tingling sensation and sound that you got with the old 4.3 litre. So we have Ferrari's Formula 1 style Menatino switch again on the steering wheel, but fewer settings than on other Ferraris. There's no track mode, pointless for this kind of car, and the wet setting is now incorporated into comfort. Before we switch to sport mode here, now that magnetises the particles in the damper fluid to give you the firmer ride. It's just so compliant, really quite impressive. That superbly costing ride comes despite Ferrari's successful move to beef up the California's handling with a modified suspension. The previous California was a sweetly balanced car, but what Ferrari have done with the stiffer suspension is that the California feels more tied down. It's less body roll and it feels a bit closer to the 458 without quite reaching that car's dynamic heights. The old model styling didn't look completely resolved, where the new California's design is more harmonious while making a stronger, sportier visual statement. Another bonus is that the California costs $50,000 less than before. That's still a price tag of $410,000 though, and of course you can still spend plenty on options. 140 grand's worth on our test car. Choices. My choice of a drop-top prancing horse would still be a 458 Spider. However, it is easy to appreciate the broader appeal of what is a much improved entry-level Ferrari GT. And the nature of that twin-turbo V8, well, it really suits the character of this particular car. Whether we'll feel the same way about a turbocharged 458, I'm not so sure.